Your phone just died. The entire city is dark. Your backup power bank is completely drained. You've got a drawer full of useless alkaline batteries, mountains of defunct electronics, and absolutely no way to charge anything. The grid is gone. Permanently. So now what? Here's something almost nobody tells you in survival circles. The answer to your power crisis might be sitting in a 2,000-year-old museum in Baghdad, and you can build it in your kitchen using nothing but junk from your garage. I'm talking about the Baghdad Battery, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about power generation. Before we dive into how ancient technology might be your ticket to survival when modern conveniences fail, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what survival skill you want us to explore next. Now let's get into the real knowledge. Back in 1936, a German archaeologist named Wilhelm König was doing routine cataloguing work at the Baghdad Museum when he stumbled onto something that made absolutely zero sense according to everything modern science thought it knew. He found a clay jar about 5 inches tall. Nothing special on the surface, but when he looked inside, he found copper cylinders, iron rods, and an asphalt seal that kept them perfectly separated. König had a background in science, and his brain immediately went to one place. This is a galvanic cell. This is a battery. The academic world didn't just disagree with him. They lost their minds. See, the world believed that Alessandro Volta invented the battery in 1800. This artifact was 2,000 years older. 2,000 years. The scientific community declared it impossible. They said it had to be a scroll case, a religious artifact, literally anything except what it clearly was. But König wasn't backing down. Then, in 1940, an engineer named Willard Gray decided to test König's theory by building an exact replica using nothing but the materials that would have been available in ancient Mesopotamia. He assembled one of these batteries, filled it with vinegar, and connected his multimeter to check for current. It worked. It produced 0.5 volt. Measurable, usable electrical current from 2,000-year-old technology. Here's where it gets fascinating. A battery isn't some magical creation of modern chemistry. It's fundamentally simple. You need 2 different metals and an acidic solution. That's it. That's the entire requirement. The reason it works comes down to basic electron hunger. Different metals have different desires for electrons. When you put copper and iron into vinegar, which is acetic acid, something happens at the molecular level that our ancestors figured out 2 millennia ago. Copper is electron greedy. It wants electrons more aggressively than iron does. When both metals are suspended in that acidic environment and you connect a wire between them, the copper starts pulling electrons from the iron through the liquid. That flow of electrons is electricity. The iron slowly corrodes. The acid gradually neutralizes. But while this chemical reaction is happening, you're generating power. This is exactly the same physics as the battery you buy at the store. The lithium-ion battery in your phone uses the same principles, just with different materials and modern engineering. The difference is that one was built with knowledge and simplicity, and the other was built with complexity and supply chains. Here's the part that matters for survival. The Baghdad Battery fails gracefully. When the vinegar evaporates, you add more. When the iron nail corrodes to nothing, you swap it for another nail. Every single component is replaceable. You're not throwing away the entire device like you do with modern batteries. You're maintaining it. You're repairing it. You're using the same copper and iron over and over again. Let me show you exactly how to build one of these right now. Everything you need is probably already in your house or available for free in any junkyard. You're going to need copper. This can be plumbing pipe, stripped electrical wire, or even old pennies if you sand them down to expose the copper underneath. Don't overthink this. Scrap copper works just fine. You need iron. A rusty nail works. A steel bolt works. A piece of rebar works. The iron doesn't have to be pretty or new. In fact, rusty iron works even better because it's already started its corrosion process. You need a non-conductive container. This is where you have options. Glass jars are perfect. Plastic bottles work. Even a piece of PVC pipe with one end capped will function. And you need an electrolyte. White vinegar is the easiest and most reliable. You can also use lemon juice, salt water, or even homemade acidic solutions if you absolutely have to. The more acidic the solution, the better your current production. Now, let's assemble this. Take your copper and roll it into a cylinder about 4 inches long. If you're using pipe, that's already done for you. Insert your iron nail into the center. This is critical. It cannot touch the copper anywhere, or you'll short-circuit the entire battery and get zero output. Use a piece of cork, rubber, or even cardboard to keep it centered and separated. Place this assembly into your jar. Pour in the vinegar until both metals are completely submerged, leaving about a ½ inch of air at the top to prevent evaporation overflow. Attach one wire to the copper. Attach another wire to the iron. The copper is your positive terminal. The iron is your negative. Seal the top with wax, hot glue, or even plastic wrap and a rubber band to prevent the vinegar from evaporating away. If you've got a multimeter, you're now looking at between ½ volt and 1 full volt of steady, usable current. That doesn't sound like much. You're right. It isn't. But this is where it gets genius. You stack them. Wire multiple batteries together in series, positive terminal to negative terminal, positive to negative, and the voltages add up. 5 of these gets you to 5 volts. 10 gets you to 10 volts. You're suddenly in the range of USB charging devices. 20 of these gets you to 20 volts, enough for serious power applications. If you need more current instead of higher voltage, you wire them in parallel. All the positive terminals together, all the negative terminals together. You can build massive arrays from scrap copper, rusty nails, and vinegar. You're turning garbage into renewable electricity. Now, let's get real about what this power actually does for you. Modern LED lights run on just 2 or 3 volts and draw almost no current. That means your Baghdad battery array can power emergency lighting indefinitely. Light is survival. Light is security. Light is the ability to work, to read, to navigate after dark. You can power small transistor radios and emergency shortwave receivers indefinitely. Information is power during crisis. You can receive news, weather updates, emergency broadcasts. You can do this for months on nothing but vinegar and replacement nails. You can trickle charge a phone. Yes, it's painfully slow compared to plugging into a wall outlet. We're talking hours for a small charge, but slow beats nothing every single time. A phone with even 10% battery is a phone that can send emergency messages, contact loved ones, or access critical information. Historians believe the original use of these batteries 2,000 years ago was actually for electroplating gold onto silver, a process that requires exactly this kind of low, steady voltage. The precision of that application shows these weren't accidental. They were engineered. And here's the uncomfortable truth about modern batteries that nobody talks about openly. Lithium-ion batteries degrade over time, whether you use them or not. They fail in extreme heat. They explode if punctured. They're built with rare earth materials from unstable countries. When they finally die, they're toxic trash. You can't rebuild them. You can't repair them. You can only dispose of them and buy new ones. The Baghdad Battery is what we call anti-fragile technology. It doesn't just survive difficult conditions, it actually benefits from them. The more you use it, the more you maintain it, the better you understand it. Every component is replaceable with materials you can scavenge. Every component is repairable. You're not waiting for a supply chain to restore. You're not dependent on factories in distant countries. You're dependent on your knowledge and your ability to find copper, iron, and acid. All three are everywhere. Right now, you're surrounded by the components. Copper pipes in walls, iron in vehicles, vinegar in kitchens. You probably don't even recognize them as the pieces of your power system, because you've been taught that power is something you buy, not something you make. The maintenance is real work, but it's the work that keeps the lights on when everyone else is in the dark. Check your vinegar weekly. Replace corroded nails monthly. It's simple discipline. It's ancient wisdom combined with modern understanding. We'll probably never know for certain what ancient Mesopotamians used these batteries for. Maybe medicine, maybe religious rituals. Maybe they created lights that seemed miraculous to people who'd never seen electricity before. But here's what we do know with absolute certainty. They built it. It worked. And it survived 2,000 years. That's more than you can say for the phone in your pocket. When everything fails, when supply chains collapse, when the grid goes dark, survival doesn't depend on hoarding batteries. It depends on understanding how they actually work. The Baghdad Battery proves that electricity isn't some modern miracle. It's ancient physics. Copper, iron, acid, nothing more. No factories, no supply chains, no dependency. When everyone else is fighting over the last pack of Duracells, you can be in your workshop making power from scrap metal and vinegar because you remembered what the ancients knew. That technology doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to work. If you found this useful, smash that subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment telling me what survival technology you want us to decode next. And remember, the best survival tool is knowledge. Stay prepared Stay safe. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a survival secret. Join our community and unlock the ancient power within you.